Rob here at etrailer.com, and today you're going to be taking a look at the Curt T-connector vehicle wiring harness with a 4-pole flat trailer connector on our 2019 Honda CRV. Now our wiring is going to provide us with a 4-pole flat trailer connector. That way whenever we're pulling a trailer, we have all the required lights to get down the road safely, like our tail lights, brakes, and turn signals. Now, our wiring does come with a dust cap to keep all that dust, debris, and moisture out of the connector and prevent any kind of corrosion. However, our wiring is only meant to be on the outside when we're using it. It is going to live on the inside and store there as well. Now you can see the wire I have dropped out the back of my hatch. And if we open it up, we continue to follow our wire, it'll actually live and store right by our spare tire. Now you may be wondering, well, is it really a good idea to drop my wire out the back of my hatch and close it on it? And to be honest with you, so long as we stay away from the actual latch itself, the weather stripping has enough cushion on there that it's not going to damage the wire. So we can drop it out so long as we stay away from the latch, let it come down, close our hatch, and we can hook up to our trailer. And the really nice thing about the wiring is the fact that we're not going to have to cut or splice anything. It's going to have a factory connector that's going to plug in right behind this panel back here. So we are going to have to pull these panels loose, but we're only going to have to plug in one thing, put a fuse in, and then run our wire to the rear hatch area. Now our wiring is going to have a converter box on it. And what that's going to do is it's going to take the signals from our CRV and transfer them into a working signal for our trailer so we can make sure that all the lights are going to match up properly. But it's also going to protect our CRV. In case there's any problems, if you had a light go out or start shorting, it's going to protect any kind of backfeeding, so it's going to make sure our CRV's electrical system is protected. So whether you're towing a utility trailer, jet ski, or a boat trailer, trying to go have some fun or do some work, we need to make sure that we have wiring not only to stay legal, but also to stay safe. We don't want anybody running into the back of our trailer because we don't have wiring. But this Curt kit is going to be an extremely simple installation. In fact, let's go ahead and do it together. To start out, we want to open up the rear hatch on our CRV, and we want to take out all the floor coverings. So we'll pull up the section that's covering our spare tire, and we'll set it aside for right now. Now at the very back here, we have our threshold panel. The center section is going to be separate from the outer piece. So we want to remove both. So let's come to the center, we'll grab the very bottom, and we're going to lift straight up. We can set that panel aside. Now we'll move to the outer edge of our threshold panel. Again, grabbing it on the bottom and lifting straight up. And we'll just work our way across until we can get the whole panel to come out. We'll go ahead and set this aside as well. Now we can move to the very top of our cargo area. And we're going to have another trim panel at the very top where our headliner is. So you just want to grab that, and again, just start working your way down, pulling down and working your way across until we can get it unhooked, and we'll set that aside. If we move inside our cargo area on the driver's side, on this little ledge here, we're going to have a tie-down hook. Now we need to open it up a little bit, and if we look at the very bottom opening underneath the hook, we'll see a little white plastic tab. You can push up on that tab, then we can grab the hook with our fingers, and we're just going to pull straight out. And if you look closely inside there, you can see that tab that I'm talking about. You want to get your flat blade in there, press it up, and then pull the whole assembly out. Now if we move up and towards the front of our CRV a little bit, we'll have our latch for our rear seats to fold forward. But if we look behind that, we'll find a little notch that's going to be covering up some fasteners holding everything in. So again, we'll take that flat blade screwdriver, come underneath that notch, press down, and we can tilt that cover out. So we'll grab a Phillips bit and we'll pull those Phillips screws out. With all of that loose now, we can come to our upper and lower panels, and we're going to need to pull them away so we can get access behind there. Now, I do recommend using a plastic trim panel tool to get everything started to help break it loose, because you don't want to do any damage to the trim panel or any of the interior panels. So we'll just start at the top, that way we can get our tool in there and just start breaking those clips loose, releasing them, working our way down. Now if I pull back the upper panel here, we can see that we have a white plug that has some brown, kind of orangish tape on it. That's the plug we're going to get to. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the tape and pull it out as far as I can so we get a little bit better access to it. So now that we have a little bit better access to our plug, we can grab our wiring harness and we can see that the plugs are going to match up. Once we have it clicked in, we'll give it a quick tug to make sure that it's locked in, it's not going to come loose. Then we can follow our wires down. It'll take us right to our fuse holder. And now when we have it plugged in, we can put our 10 amp fuse in and close everything up. And with everything connected, I'm going to go ahead and take a few zip ties and I'm going to zip tie my converter box behind the panel. That way I know it's not going to be moving around too much, causing any noise, or later on down the road causing any damage to the box. But with everything secure behind our panels, you want to make sure you route your wire underneath the panel so it can store right here by the spare tire. But now, with that all plugged in, we can put all the panels back in place and put all the floor coverings in as well. I have my 4-pole tester plugged in. If you need one of these, you can pick one up here at etrailer.com using part number I26. But as you can see, my taillight function is working, as well as the left turn signal, the right turn signal, and my brakes. All we have left to do now is hook up to our trailer and hit the road. That'll finish up your look at the Curt T-connector vehicle wiring harness on our 2019 Honda CRV.